And we're back, and we're starting Chapter 3, Part 1. Are you nodding off? No, I was just listening. You were talking about the Academy of Fine Arts abuse its power 30 years ago, correct? You're drooling as you speak. Not anymore, so allow me to talk again. No, it's too late now. You're not ready to listen to my story, young fellow. But, Mr. Marshman, you've been sidetracked into criticizing the society while speaking of the Phantom. I only needed to hear the story about the Phantom. I have nothing more to say, nor do I need to remind myself of that Phantom. Things haven't turned out well for any of the young people who have been obsessed over this Phantom. By young people, do you mean Viscount Raoul de Chagny and Christine Daae? By any chance, are you aware of what happened to them? You are sure a bother. I don't know. I haven't the slightest clue. They just disappeared forever. So stop harassing me and be gone. Otherwise, you, my young fellow, poof, might disappear as well. That's quite odd. The Baroness surely told me. Don't bring up the Baroness! But you are avoiding getting to the point. Mr. Marshman, I could play as dirty as the Academy of Fine Arts if I wanted to. Why did I allow such a wickedness in my office? Fine then, I'll tell you about the damn Phantom. Thank you. However, I got nothing more to say. What do you mean, then? Hold your horses. Instead, I'll let you know who can tell you. I had enough. Do you know where the Rivoli Street is? I do indeed. The person who can help me lives there, perhaps? That's right. A strange man who left the theater after the Phantom was gone lived there. Although I can't be certain if he still lives there or he is still even alive. Could you give me any clue as to how I can recognize him? In our opera house we used to call him the Persian. Well, if that name doesn't get his attention, then talk about the Phantom. Thank you, Mr. Marshman. How do I get to Rivoli Street from here? Where to? Rivoli Street, please. We're on Rivoli Street. It's a long street with a lot of boutiques on it. You need to be more specific. Is there a residential area in the vicinity? Oh, there are a few old flats. Then that's where we'll go. Please get me there as quickly as possible. Will do. Hop on then. Off we go. I haven't had a guest in a long while. Who's there? Good day. Sorry to bother you, but is this where the Persian from the Opera House resides? You must be that Persian. I have something to ask. I have no business with you. Good day. Do you know Mr. Marshman? Or the Baroness Kazlov Barzbezik? Oh my god. I don't know anyone by that name. Goodbye. Viscount Raoul de Chagny? Christine Dye? Do you know them then? Go back. If I lose him, it's a dead end. Let go of the door, young fellow. Then perhaps... Do you know the name of the... Oh my god. I messed up. Do you know of the Phantom of the Opera? First come inside. I can't have you standing on my doorstep. My name is Haddam. I'm better known as the Persian around the Opera House. Although I live here now, I'm originally from Persia. Mr. Marshman informed me that you could tell me about the Phantom. You tried to get rid of me when I mentioned other names, yet you let me in when I spoke of the Phantom. Who are you? What do you know of all this? Well, welcome to my humble abode. Please have a seat. I'll make some tea. Please wait just a moment. There are old newspaper articles on the wall. Hang on, these are all reports about the Opera House 30 years ago. There's even an article on the Phantom. To have these on the wall for 30 years. Giant chandelier fell on housekeeper's head. Christine Dye is Margaret again. A ghostly trick or stress-induced hallucinations. The tragedy of the Opera House in Saint Germain. Have you been reading them? I didn't think anyone would still be seriously interested in the Phantom after all this time. Here, have some tea. Thank you. You must have had quite the reputation back in those days at the theater, Mr. Haddam, for Mr. Marshman to know of you. Perhaps you stayed at the theater to hunt the Phantom? You must be exhausted from a long journey. Have some more tea before you leave. It's a mint tea that I used to drink often back in my homeland. Mr. Haddam, you must know something about the Phantom. Any little thing will do, so if you would be so kind as to tell me. I have nothing to say, young fellow. That's a past which I put behind me many years ago. No, sir, if you truly thought so, you would never have allowed me into your home. Mr. Haddam? Did you leave the theater because you defied the Phantom? What are you talking about? Or did you try to identify the Phantom, which led to the Phantom being angered? Are you trying to guess your way to the answer? You're quite an interesting fellow. I'll give you one chance. One chance? Tell me, how am I involved with the Phantom of the Opera? If I like what I hear, then I'll let you have whatever you want. However, if you answer incorrectly, then you must leave immediately, never to return again. Mr. Haddam? Fine, I accept your offer. It only took a few sentences to see what a strong, determined man he is. But since he let me in, also the way he reacted, his old news articles, and that he said the past is behind him. Mr. Haddam, yes, what is your answer? Did the Phantom inflict irreparable damage in your life? Is he the reason you had a breakdown? That was an easy one, young fellow. The same can be said before anyone who was involved with the Phantom. I didn't mean it in the particular way. When you meet people, you sometimes encounter those who let their past get the better of them. I often rely on my gut feeling that has saved me a number of times. And I'm sure my feelings are correct this time as well. As you already know, that could be said about anyone. Yes, anyone including myself. Young fella, have you ever lost someone who was truly dear to you? I've had to cut out decades of my life. Before those years turned into sharp blade and sliced me apart, to not wake up from my dream and face what has already happened, the memories of that person must be beautiful ones. That's why it pains you ever so to even recall them. So, you wish to uncover my memories? I do not wish to cause you any pain, but I do believe you must put an end to this. You can't dwell on your past forever. I did not ask your name. What is it? My name is of no significance. You prefer to be called by your nickname, but names have great significance. Because to be called by a name, to name someone, is like giving birth to the person. I was the one to give him his name, and eventually I was the one to... Talking about this story, could you really help me overcome what has happened? Or is it just another way to run away? Can you promise me that you will never tell anyone else about me? If you can keep that promise, I'll tell you the story. Thank you so much, Mr. Haddam. I'll be sure to keep my promise. Do you know about the chandelier accident? Mr. Marshman told me about that. Very well then. So this is what happened next.